We're going to create some sort of... I don't think anybody's watching yet, but we're about to create some sort of weird raid inception.
It's being difficult. We'll get there. We'll figure this out.
Right now we are watching Skullboy figure out how to raid my stream in a meta thing that is one of my favorite moments on stream so far. Hey, Second Editoria. I am super excited about you being here today. I need to talk a little bit more about what you are doing. Hey, it's
this is me watching you, watching me figure things out.
There's a fully reciprocal reality happening right now, just back and forth forever and ever till the end of time. I'm gonna pop over and share this stream in all the old person Facebook groups that I hang out in real quick. This is our final day of Zine questing. Not because it's the final day of Zine Quest. There's still a little bit of stretch left to go, but here's some of the groups I share things in.
Oh, that's why.
So I always start.
Figured it out.
Yay! We did it. We always start with our Beards of Tabletop group. It's our Beards and Beyond group. Shared our group. Beards of Tabletop. Finale. Then we always share 2 more options. We always share to the RPG Zines community. There are a couple other ones we'll drop in sometimes on different days. Creative Indie RPGs or the things like that. Last day of Zine questing. We were just watching Skullboy. Skullboy just dropped some people over. Hey! I'm going to close it out. We're going to be Zine questing today. This is our last day of Zine questing. By the way, I just became a patron of Skullboy. If you have not done that, I'm a big fan. I'm actually hoping we can do a couple different things coming up as we look at our Beards and Beyond 2-page adventure series. We're going to do 12 with different artists from all over the place. Some will have beards, some will not. But we're going to have a bunch of people do 2-page adventures. I love all the stuff that Skullboy does, the Better Legends does, and I would love for y'all to go check them out. We just became patrons because a big part of why Plus One exists is to help support indie tabletop RPG creators. We're a weird little brand that multi-classes in tabletop game design. We make our own games. Beard and skincare alchemy. We make beard balms, lip balms, and lotion bars. The beard balms are out now. The lotion bars and lip balm are coming soon. They're all inspired by classic tabletop culture. And then we also took levels in the Bardic College of Content Creation. So we create review, preview, and actual play content for different people. But we actually do keep a list of about 12 people right now we support on Patreon. I'd love to get up to 20. Basically, we put all the proceeds we get from Plus One back into the community right now. We're about to start paying one of our editors a salaried staff position to help with marketing and some other stuff. But go and support other amazing people in the RPG community. But we didn't come here to do that today. We came here for the final day of Zine Questing. Zine Quest is a series we've been doing. We've done 17 days of Zine Quest proper over the course of February and early March. We did 4 days just talking about the art of Zine Quest with Lloyd also. We did a number of interviews and creator series. We did 30 plus streams this last month. Most of them were just an hour long. Some that were actual plays of different games, but this one we just talk about zines that are up right now that we are backing. This is going to be the last one. Either I will kill the Skellington King or he will kill me, one of the two today. These are the most recent projects that have come up for Zine Quest. We've actually already covered a lot of these, so I went back a little bit further, looked for some that I hadn't already covered yet. We're going to start out with a little bitty series called, Skullboy, go eat. Your Must Die. We're going to start with a little series that we're going to start calling Why the Hell Hasn't This Funded Yet? And Why the Hell Hasn't This Funded Yet? We have Kitchen Nightmares. Look at that, already going up just from you lovely people. I'm already a backer on this one. I'm super excited about this game for a couple of reasons. One, it's gorgeous. Two, I love the creators. Three, I also have a fantasy kitchen game coming up that is entirely different than this game. And when I first saw it launch, I was like, oh man, that won't mean I can't do my game, but is it different enough? And it absolutely is. It's a hidden role RPG for 5+ players. The team on this one is absolutely phenomenal. The layout is gorgeous. The art is excellent, but it's a Discord-based LARP in the vein of hidden role games based on the groundbreaking hit from Will Jobst and Adam Vass. Vass. I can never do it right, Adam. This Discord has Ghost in it. So you basically have one person who's a medieval knight, one person who's a wizard who sent them there, and everybody else is just 90s college kids. It's a hidden role Discord-based game. This is the thing that just from the previews sold me on it, the fact that you have this placemat level, which is absolutely killer. If you have not backed this project yet, you need to go do it. You need to, because I need it in my life, and it needs another $1,000-ish to get all the way up. So in this edition of Why Hasn't This Funded Yet is Kitchen Nightmares. And remember, we were championing $28, 28 days, backing a Zine Quest project at any level just to help that backer out. I know the 28 days of February is over, but remember, backing somebody at any level helps. Sharing about it online helps. When you back it, even at $1, it helps them get discovered by the Kickstarter algorithm a little bit more easily. And there's the ability to share afterwards that you were a backer, helping other people grab that game. So please, please, please consider becoming a backer for Kitchen Nightmares. I'm super excited to play it. I hope y'all are also. Nope, that was something I was looking at for a completely different reason. This is All Magic Creatures Great and Small, a Zine Quest game, a storytelling game for 2 to 4 players about magical creatures, their fairy healer, and from the creators of the Magical Repair Shop. Oh, which I backed the Magical Repair Shop. I like that game a lot. All Creatures Great and Small is a Zine Quest game about mythical creatures in need of healing. We've got a grumpy and benevolent fae who resides in a secluded sanctuary, a highly skilled magic healer who opens a portal from their home when alerted to a magical creature in need. The healer is an extremely solitary sort, doesn't let humans accompany the creatures. As a result, there's nobody to speak on behalf of them. You play as a magical creature. Your challenge is to non-verbally express your distress and desires to the healer. Which I love. The art in this is great. I would love to see a little bit more of it, but this opening image is super strong. I love what they're doing here. Uses the Mobile Frame Zero Firebrands framework. That's cool. I love seeing a mock-up. I always think the higher you can get the mock-up on your page, the better. But I think this one's cute. I love the art forward thing. I'd love to see this a little bit higher up. I did look at this one already very briefly. They've got some papercraft stuff going on here. Let's check that out. So this is a little like create a record of your magical creature's details and track their progress as they heal. This is super fun. Which is a good way to push people up to those higher levels also too. So let's see. Like, I am a sucker for papercraft. Like, I think it's a really fun thing. We've seen a lot of solo RPGs included this year, Apothecaria and a few others. Ooh, I'm torn. I'm going to click 15 right now and come back and look a little bit more at it because I love that idea. And look, it's our friend Laura Turner. So check out All Magic Creatures Great and Small if you haven't yet. Evershift, I haven't looked at this one yet. It's really the art captured me from this one. This actually reminds me a whole lot visually of the stuff that Zach has put out this year. And so our friend Zach from Spellsword, visually, like it has the same colors. It's got some of the same feel. Let's watch the video. We'll give it a minute and see how it comes across.
Stumbled into the Evershift, desperate for a way out. Perhaps I may know of one. Perhaps two. You'll find both of them within my little book. You may also find some things you weren't expecting. A trove of new options for your characters.
That's a cool image.
A basket of unique maps and creatures. And enough charts, tables, and trinkets to dazzle even the prettiest of eyes.
So this is another Drifter's Atlas project. Drifter's Atlas has put out a bunch of really solid 5e compatible supplements. I am not somebody who will back a lot of 5e compatible projects. I will back a ton of system agnostic projects that are also 5e compatible. I don't know what it is. There's something about it when that's the lead sales piece. But Drifter's Atlas has been knocking it out of the park with these and some of the partnerships that they've done. They've all been really good. When you do a 5e supplement, here's what I'm looking for. Is it a good 5e supplement? And then does it have something to offer people who don't play Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition? I think Egg Embry's Love Layer Liabilities project is probably the best example of this in Zine Quest 3, but I also think that Scrap Rats did a really phenomenal job with this also too. So those are a couple pieces that I really like, and that's just because I don't play 5th edition, and I don't play Dungeons & Dragons, and so if you don't have something else to offer me, I'm not going to back it as easily, and so. The Feywild is one of the most bizarre locations your party can experience. One part whimsical, one part capricious, the other part deadly. It should rarely be a location that makes sense or is easily navigated, which that I like. With Evershift, we've developed a contained adventure that gives your party a taste of this wondrous place and a quest to pursue as they work their way through it. While you could certainly extend this adventure into an entirely face-centric campaign, our design is that to be a bag of bean-boozled jelly beans, enough sweet to keep you happy, but enough nasty when you're happy you've made it through. Some of the details that are specific. I always wonder, this can imply a lot of things when you do these digital mock-ups on here. It can imply that it's just available digitally. But to me, depending on what images you put on here, it can imply digital tools. So like this Evershift, when it's the same as the cover, to me that implies this is just, there's a digital version of it. When there's other stuff on there, it confuses my brain and makes my brain think, well, what is the digital version giving me if it doesn't look like a layout page or something else? And that's just a note for me. Like that's how my brain works. It may not be yours. This is cool. They've got a dice vault. They partnered with Talon and Claw to do that. They've got some Roll20 pieces. Zach and Thomas are really great folks. You guys should check out what Drifter's Atlas is doing if you're into Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition. There's just a lot of really great stuff coming out there. Solid project, good implementation, some cool art. Again, the stuff they've done this Zine Quest has been absolutely phenomenal, and I really love it. Will says, yeah, papercraft and craft in general in RPGs is like peanut butter and chocolate. We, for Repugnant, have the option, and will have the option if you didn't buy the chits, that you can print them out and glue them to your own garbage and make your own chits at home, which I actually think I'm going to do a bunch of anyways, because I like the idea of just copying or cutting or taking something out of the back of a book and making something out of it. A little bit of papercraft makes the game your own in a really kind of unique physical way and steps outside the regular and doesn't necessarily require you to do a whole lot more as a designer. It's excellent what they call in the board games community fairy dust, right? Something that seems like it has a high value but doesn't actually cost a whole lot. And so anyways, this is a game I feel like I should have already covered. I've seen a lot of really positive response to this game. It's got a video here. Let's check it out.
And I'm Ray.
And this is Pro Patria Mori.
Pro Patria Mori is a micro RPG that takes place during the Great War in the year 1917.
One of the major influences of this project is a poem by Wilfred Owen called Dulce et Decorum Est, written during the war. It provides an insight into this new kind of warfare, one filled with bombs, machine gun fire, and poison gas. One can only imagine the horrors of facing such new technologies on the front lines.
The mechanics from Pro Patria Mori are taken from a number of places. First and foremost, Honey Heist with its bicameral stat system. We also take elements from Blades in the Dark, including Quantum Load, as well as the items that you could use in the game, and Trophy Dark with its pre-built 5-act structure.
So the cool thing about this one, this is a long video. It's also slow paced. They've done a couple things here that make me want to watch the whole thing. For one, they're giving me a lot of good visuals from their book. Also, the explanation has gravitas. I also know that they've done some sort of filtering over their images to give it this kind of washed feel, which makes it match. Let me see if I can get both of them. Yeah, that kind of makes it match the feel of a lot of the images they're showing you. It's very simple, but it's very well rendered in a way that kind of keeps on drawing me through. We only watch about a minute here, unless it's just a little bit longer. So that's all we're going to watch. But I love getting to know that kind of insight. Again, we've got this top really solid hero image right here that's showing me the book that looks very tiny. But also this is dealing with a really powerful theme that I love getting to people to see and explore more of. This art is excellent. Again, we're seeing more inside the book in actual print. Lets me know this book is a real thing that actually exists. I'm very excited about it. I can see why this has gotten a lot of buzz. And again, I feel like I should have gotten here a little bit more quickly than I did. They've got an actual play on here, which again, even if it's just you and a couple friends getting on and showcasing that the game exists, most people won't watch these. Most people will click on them. Most people are comforted by the fact that they exist. You're looking for a little bit more, but also I love the fusion of things that they brought in here. These are the people who did the Love Balloon last year. I feel like they came in late last year also too and really struggled to get their funding through, and they're doing really, really well this year. But this is actually a really solid game. It's on the shelf over there right now. It's very cool. I will back this one. I don't know if I will go. It's a little bit hard budget wise. I think I may go. I already have the Love Balloon. What's shipping like? Oh, well, if I don't have to pay shipping right now, then I will probably go in at the physical level on this. It's a gorgeous game. Cool concept. I love seeing games that are bringing up these bigger themes. By the way, that reminds me, I don't have it pulled up real quick here. Let's type it in. I got to play Blood Feud last weekend. I want to give it a shout out real quick. A lot of people have been asking questions about this. It came up in the Gauntlet community. So I could spell feud right. It came up in the Gauntlet community earlier that people are concerned about it because it deals with the theme of toxic masculinity. I played with a gender diverse group, and we had a phenomenal time. And because we all came from different backgrounds and experiences of gender, it was really interesting, the debrief process that they have at the end of this game. I want to express this game is hard to play. It was hard for me to be good at playing it because I definitely was a character that carried the most honor the entire time. A big part of getting in the mindset was just thinking, when I'm a GM and I'm running the nebulous villain or the overt villain, what is my mindset as a GM when I'm doing that? And then just running my player like that. So that was mechanically how I got myself in the mindset. And then internally, I just had to think, okay, what are some of my best impulses that I am oftentimes worried people will think are wrong or bad? Like, what are my good impulses? And then what does it mean to take those good impulses and actually let them run into a bad place, like as if my motivations were wrong? So for me, like, that's generosity, taking care of others, helping lift others up. That can be done in a fully altruistic way that is just about the other individual, and that's the way we should pursue it. There are other ways you can do that which allow you to control, manipulate, or other things, and so that's what my character did during the game. It was incredibly hard, and it was hard to think about the things not connected to that that I did when I was a teenager that were absolutely toxic. Even though I was a sensitive and pretty good teenage guy, I grew up in the South in Texas and was still massively influenced by a toxically male culture, and oftentimes would fall into those things. And we got to debrief our experience playing at the end, and I got to name some of those things. And it's not cathartic because I'm like, those things don't limit me. They're realities. But actually, it made me realize I need to let those things live a little bit closer to the surface because it helps me know who I'm not. I don't need to dwell on them. But I don't need to pretend that they didn't exist and don't happen. And that's a big time. I think a lot of the time my inability to navigate some of the conversations around that are hard. If you haven't checked out Blood Feud yet, it's very good. It's very well done. It's amazing to see a couple folks from Sweden who have done a really good job of articulating all this stuff really well in both Swedish and English. And I think the sales proposition is harder when you translate it over, but it's a very, very good game. That said, it's very well funded. It's doing great. Oh, Ben, what book do I have on my wall that you worked on? I got a lot of books behind me. Were you in Dissident Whispers? Oh yeah, Cerulean, absolutely. I had a blast. Like, if you guys want, we have the actual play up. If you go to about 3 hours and 34 minutes, you can just watch the debrief. And it was a great conversation. It was a great conversation. Contemplation. I haven't looked at this one yet, but the art caught me. The art caught me on this. A zine of personal discovery. I just want to look at the image for a second. I've flashed by it a few times. I would say in the late Zine Quest entries, it's one of the very few evidently beautiful capturing pieces. If you watch the Zine Quest series at all, you know that I am critical of the way that text and the graphic design interact with each other. This one is flawless. I don't know if that's individually lettered. It looks like it is a font because of the way the P's and the L's match, but it's laid out incredibly well. This can be used as a quick RPG game or as a writing tool for solo journaling, or even all three together. What it will be depends on how you choose to use it, and there are 3 ways. 3 game options. As a game, invent a character and take them through the pages, discovering who they are, what makes them ticks, absolutely not serious, and just a lot of fun. A writing tool. Take an invented character that you want to discover more about, and as you work through the questions, details will emerge to power you through any writing block you may be suffering. That's cool. Solo journaling. Work through the pages, exploring your own personality and feelings on a journey of self-discovery and exploration. This is a really cool, like, kind of multivalent concept. I don't know that I've seen a journal. Like, I think journaling games do a lot of these things. I don't know that I've seen a journaling game name these things. And so, I think it's very, very, very cool to see that kind of laid out specifically. Again, the art on this is also absolutely gorgeous. We've got a table of contents here, a beautiful art, absolutely. Gives us a little bit of the writing style. Check out this image. Gorgeous. Oh man, so many good stuff. I like this grid piece here that they've done to create some different types of writing space. And also, like, the lined pages are image free to ensure the notebook has plenty of space to write in, but they've got these image pages with just the dot matrix on it. This is a solid craft project. Undiscovered Gems is an excellent name for this company. I'll have to check out some more of their stuff. I only ever want, especially when it's gorgeous, the hard copy of your game. I actually don't care about the PDF. So that's going to be at the level that I would want to back at. I don't know if I'll be able to. I'm going to have to go look at the budget for this last day of Zine Quest to make sure I've got space. This one comes from a game studio that I'm a big fan of. And for full transparency, not realizing this, I actually just won a digital copy of Locus Horror as part of their kind of move to get to 1,000 followers. So this is coincidental. I was going to cover this game anyways. I'm also doing an actual play with Cobblepath Games of their upcoming Coffee and Chaos at the very beginning of April. It's a GM-less cafe management game, and as somebody who worked in coffee shops for a long time, I'm super excited about it. So Sticks and Stones, funded in 9 hours. Sticks and Stones may break my bones, but words will cut much deeper. Sticks and Stones is a one-shot story for horror RPG Locus. It's the first official story in the Locus Horror RPG by Cobblepath Games. 15 years ago, the prestigious Latterdine family disappeared. Ever since, their lands have stood empty and the woods around them avoided by locals. Talk of the town was that the family vanished into the woods during a storm after befalling a terrible accident. Although the whispers since have been mingled with theories and suspicions as to the specific stories of hikers and other travelers going missing are oft added to the rumors. Some dismiss them as mere embellishments, though others swear blind it's the truth. So you're a researcher going out to check out these ideas. It's a game about flawed character exploring consequences and morality against a backdrop of very real supernatural and monstrous danger. Moral examination is one of my favorite aspects of gameplay. I also love gonzo games where you don't have to do any of that, but I do love those moments where the gonzo falls away and you are able to have an interesting and poignant conversation and consider something you may never have considered without playing the game. So those are my favorite moments. Some really, really evocative images here. You can get the Locus guides. You can get a Locus bookmark. Like I said, I just got the digital copy to Locus. So, I mean, it feels like I should go in on this at some level. I like what I'm seeing come out of Cobblepath Studios. I may just go digital, which is what I normally do for modules. Modules I'm willing to take digitally because I'm just going to print out the pages I need after having read through it. I don't necessarily need the physical unless there's going to be a lot of strong art elements. And though this is a beautiful game, I don't know that it warrants it for me. So that would be the level we would go at. Ben, you did Tomb of the Last Tyrant in that Mothership anthology. So yeah, if you guys aren't familiar with Dissident Whispers, it's right here. Really cool anthology. And it's not Cable Cards, Cable something games is about to start, helped put it together, is about to start putting out a whole lot more stuff. Project Cassandra, another game I've been interested since right before we did it. I've actually read the quick start for this one. It's a Zine Quest RPG about Cold War psychics fighting to present an apocalyptic vision of what's to come. Rather than doing kind of flashbacks, you kind of do like almost, I feel like, more flash sideways, like short little flashbacks that let you mold and shape the future depending on what type of character you're going to play. But you're playing Cold War psychics. The system itself is actually really, really simple, really smart, easy to pick up. They've got their playtest available right now over on their itch.io page. That's what I checked out in advance. I love the creator for this one. They've done a phenomenal job. I like the project design on it overall. I want to explore more Cold War stuff. My friend Alexi has Checkpoint Midnight that looks absolutely amazing. It's Cold War Supernatural also too, but more not like psychics and stuff, more like supernatural. That didn't make any sense. Yeah, Craig's been just doing a lot of great stuff. Has been a really, really cool person to see in and around the community, doing a lot of support. I would really love you guys to go check this project out if you're interested in the theme. It's all very smart. It's all very well put together. It's Project Cassandra. It's a Cold War, Psychics is a Cold War setting. Fever Dreams. It's a short RPG about holding back the apocalypse in a world where unfulfilled emotional needs spawn supernatural disaster. It's a game about investigating strange paranormal entities called calamities and resolving the emotional crises that brought them to life, which I love. I feel like this is a theme we're seeing a lot of this year in Zine Quest. Maybe it's an emergent theme and design, but the concept of playing with the psyche as a resolution mechanic is something that I feel like we've seen a whole lot more this year than we have in past years. It may say something about where we're at in the world right now. I don't know. But you're lucid dreamers picked by the Bureau of Parapsychology for your unique perspective on reality and tasked with protecting the city from disillusion. The art on this one absolutely slays me. Like these are insane, kind of mind-blowing things drawn in this very kind of evocative style. You'll investigate circumstances that led to a calamity's generation, explore the unearthly locations that they twisted around themselves like cocoons, and invoke your brightest human values to reach them into the suffering and the heart, planning to undo it. This one is also a hopeful game, I think, for the most part. Always be mindful of your spacing. If you are using this, the bullet point here, you've got to get all the text bulleted and then select it all at the same time to get it to crunch down into one bullet list. It's a very annoying function in the Kickstarter backend, much like many other functions. But I also just like the complexity of some of the real world elements with the hatching, and then the roughness of some of the incursion pieces, these calamities. It matches in a really interesting way, and I just think that's very cool. 850 pounds for the soundtrack. I love that we've seen more soundtracks this year. I don't know what level I'll go at. This will be probably a physical back for me. And again, I'm going to have to check the budget real quick to see where I'm at. But 26 hours to go. Good, solid project. And then this one is this is not a Zine Quest project, but okay, so here's the deal. Just so you know, we are going to be continuing to do something like Zine Quest on the channel once every 2 weeks. I will be hopping on Wednesdays typically to just talk about the projects that are up right now, what I'm backing. It won't be limited to Kickstarters. It'll be if you've released something on itch.io that you want me to take a look at. If you have something that you're just selling on your own page, if you're looking at a different crowdfunding site, we'll still look at Kickstarters, but anything that you have released recently that you want me to take a look at, or that someone else has released that you want me to take a look at, we'll cover it. We'll probably call it something like Backer Quest or something dumb like that. But if you've got a better name, type it in the chat for me, please, wherever you're watching. But it'll be very similar to Zine Quest. We'll have a couple series like Why Hasn't This Funded Yet? We'll do a mail call probably every single time we do that, because I just got a bunch of cool stuff in the mail. I got from the team over at Ember and Ash, I got their Wretched and Alone journaling game in the mail yesterday. I got their preview copy. Thank you very much of Corpse Wake Cove. These are both things that they sent me to check out to talk about on the channel, so full transparency. I did not play for this, but like, look, I mean, like, I backed this game. I'm going to get another copy of it, so we'll give away one of these. But look how gorgeous this art. Ember and Ash are just doing really just killer stuff. Absolutely gorgeous work. I don't know what those pages even looked like. I got Deathblow. Deathblow is by, oh man, why can't I find their name on the studio thing? I will find it and I will shout it out. I just got these in the mail from somebody I met on Discord, from Zog, who we just reviewed their game, Blackout in Crater Valley, which is a DCC horror anthology. I just got my copy of Fanta in from Keegan. I just got Rebel Crown in. So we'll talk about these things that we're getting in the mail also too. I also got I accidentally ordered 2 copies of Acid Death Fantasy. So we'll be giving one of those away soon also too, because I accidentally ordered 2 copies of it because I'm a dumb. It's gorgeous. I got this in yesterday, so I'm super excited to sit down with it. Got our copy of Weird Science in, and even we get some non-RPG stuff from time to time also too that we'll talk about. So we'll do that. We'll talk about projects that haven't funded yet that we love. We'll talk about other different projects. So we'll start that next Wednesday. And then we'll also talk about bundles and other things you can do to help support the community at the end of those. That'll be every like Wednesday afternoon around 3 o'clock. If I'm busy for whatever reason at 3 o'clock on a Wednesday, we'll bump it somewhere else, but it'll be every other week. So 2 or 3 times a month. So we will keep on doing those things. That said, this game will not be up next Wednesday when I do this again. So this is Good Society, Jane Austen RPG, reprint and new deck. I've looked at this RPG a whole lot. I have never purchased this RPG. Richard Ruane, who did Chronicles of the Spelljammer, Barrow Key, says it's one of his favorite RPGs, so I want to check it out.
Ah, my friends. Let me tell you the rumors I've heard of Good Society. Spring has arrived, and once again courtships bloom. But matches are not so easily made when society sees all. The captain gazes at the passing heiress. Will she look back? Even the most prestigious families cannot escape the grasp of rumor. The eldest daughter sees no suitors. She prefers, they say, to write. Still, we must give our eager matchmakers credit where it is due. The eligible baron did marry, even if his wife's object was not simply affection. But passion, love, and longing do not always take the form we most expect now, do they? But of course, who am I to say such things? I am merely...
I love it. I'm going to come back and watch it in just a minute, and I'll figure out what level I'm going to back it at. It's always looked good. I've never picked up a copy of it to actually check it out. It's tons of awards. They did an original printing. This is a new one. There's a new deck that's coming in. I think I did. This is actually where I first found about it, was on the One Shot Podcast Network. As I said, I can't wait to do it. This is an excellent, by the way, this is an excellent use of a GIF right here. This short video. It's a really solid use. I wonder how they're framed to start back over. Yeah, just a quick cut. I love this, and I love even when I was a teenager, I loved Jane Austen stories, and I would really love to kind of check this out, dive into it. I also feel like this is a game. This might sound really weird, but like I do also think about I love to think about games I could get my mom and people who are not normally into role-playing games. Since my mom is the one who kind of turned me on to my love of Jane Austen, it seems like I might be able to convince her to play this game. But usually she's more interested in things that she can do with both me and my teenage children, and I don't know how into this they would be, but I might be surprised because I was into it also too. So I should probably just give it a chance. But yeah, I do need to get it. That base set is not inexpensive, and I want it all. I want it all. You know what? This might be one that I kick to my flags and just say, like, look, I want one of you to get a copy of this so that I can buy it from you and let my wallet handle up a little bit. I think we're gonna go in at just $1 on this one for right now, because maybe I can also access it in the pledge manager later and see if I wanna get it also too. So which is another good reason to pledge for $1. Casualty, you are always just in time. So yeah, those were kind of our looks today. Like I said, this is the last day. We're gonna do zine questing starting next week. We are gonna be back doing something similar to this every Wednesday. We also have a couple interviews coming up that I am very excited about. We've got our friend Tyler from Possible Worlds. We're gonna be talking to. On Friday, we're going to be in a prestige class with them. We've got Michael Lombardi, whose catalog Chimerical is up right now. Those two interviews are coming up over the course of the next week. We've got some actual plays this weekend. I believe we're going to be playing Coyote and Crow, the new Native American RPG that is live right now on Kickstarter. I think we're going to be playing that Saturday night. We've got to finalize the details so I can pop that information out. But if not Saturday, then sometime in the middle of next week we'll be playing that. On Monday, we're going to be playing Frame by our good friend Spencer Campbell, who's a fellow member of the Brain Trust also too. Very excited to play that. I don't have anybody signed up to play that from our normal crew yet. I'm going to give them a couple more days, but if you are out there and you want to play a Warframe inspired RPG, let me know. I've never played Warframe. Well, that's not true. I played Warframe like 5 or 6 times when it first came out, back when it was way too expensive to play, and I'm looking forward to playing the RPG version of that, and hopefully I don't have to deal with microtransactions with Spencer, but I don't know. Maybe I do. And then this weekend, I'm also going to be playing Adventures something the Spider Queen. It's a new 2-player RPG, a GM and a player. The art on it's super great. I wish I could remember the name right now. That's Saturday. We just had to swap that out for a different way. Starkiller Fish, awesome. Yeah, hit me up also. Message me either on Twitter or on Discord. I would love to get you on that Frame show with us also. Even if we have a couple other people who want to hop on, I would love to have other people play. Spencer is phenomenal. I can't wait to play Frame. I think it's going to be the first stream, the first public play of Frame. And then we are going to play Wander Home with Jay Dragon later on this month also too. And then on the 18th, and here's something I need from all of y'all, I'm going to tweet out a little bit later today, maybe tomorrow morning. We've got a conversation coming up with Anya, who's head of Kickstarter Games, with Ben from Panda Theist, and with Joe DeSimone from the Academy of Games. I sometimes forget what Joe is from. He's just Joe, and I'm excited. Anyways, we're going to sit down. We're going to do a Zine Quest 3 retrospective, talk about some of the things that come up with it, talk about some of the things in the future. We're backwards and looking forwards on Zine Quest. I would love to know what those questions are. I'll put a tweet out tomorrow about it to get feedback. I will say this. I won't hold Anya responsible for defending anyone else's choices, but it is somebody from Kickstarter who has a lot of insight and who I'm excited to be able to sit down with and talk about some of these things with. I love the work that Ben has done, pulling in all the data from Zine Quest this year, which isn't quite done, but is mostly finished. And actually, I'll say this, I was wrong about one of my predictions. I was spot on with the number of zines I thought we would get this year. I was off. I thought that the funding percentage would drop down below 90%. It did not. It is actually up this year with 95% funded currently. And even with what's happening on these last few projects, I don't think that's going to drop. It may actually go up a little bit. And so anyways, we're going to talk about that. Some of my big questions are like, how should people interpret the rules? Like, should they interpret them as guidelines? Should they interpret them as absolutes? What's kind of the expectations there? Is there flexibility to change the rules to make them make a little bit more sense given the scope of projects that people are excited about? Or do we just leave them the way that they are and say it's not a big deal to do Zine Quest? Is Zine Quest bigger than just Kickstarter? Should Zine Quest be something that the community just kind of takes on as its own thing and does across itch and does across other crowdfunding platforms and does on Kickstarter too if it wants to? Like, we already saw some of that this year. Those are some of my big questions. And then how do we actually invite the community to come together and collaborate more effectively around what Zine Quest is. I would love to see less projects with higher funding goals that maybe are more anthologies or collections. I would love to see people not just doing their normal flagship piece, but I would love to see people doing, hey, here are 2 or 3 games on a given theme that we all created and that we want to share with you, or here's a little piece of the world that 3 designers touched and want to toss out, or people who do higher level design coming back and saying, this is just a fun, funny little idea that I want to mess around with. And I would love to see, if you don't need Zine Quest, like I don't know that I'll ever do a Zine Quest project again there's complex reasons for that. The number one being, I've just got enough going on during Zine Quest coverage wise that's what I want to focus on. So I'll commit to projects and collaborate on projects. I just don't want to be the primary on a project. I want to just spend time talking about them, sharing them, connecting with you guys. So if you've got questions about any or all of that stuff, drop them in the chat down below. I would love to see them right now. If you've got questions about any of those things, you can also hit me up on Twitter at +1EXP about any of those things tomorrow. Or if you don't want to talk about them publicly, you can just DM me, and I will keep that in my confidence. If you're on any Discord with me, I'll probably be posting about some of them there also too, and probably over on Facebook also in a couple different communities. But if you have one you want to make sure we ask, even if it's something that you don't know exactly how you want worded, just shoot it at me. I'll figure out a good way to word it. And I'm excited about the conversation with that community, even though for over the weekend, I was in some ways, shapes, or form dreading some of the different things that might come up in that conversation. I'm still, I think, overwhelmingly just excited about it and looking forward to it. Again, I want to remind you, if you haven't back Kitchen Nightmares yet, let's give it an update. Did anybody go back while we were on? Come on, folks. Make me feel good. Nope. I just feel bad. Never mind. I would love to do that. And again, if you've got a game coming up in the next couple months that you're going to want us to play, to preview, to share about, other things like that, just keep us in mind. Our hope here at +1EXP is to help creators find great players who love their game and to help players find great games by creators that they can love. We have been really excited to be doing Zine Quest. I think we killed the Skellington King. We covered 200 plus, probably close to 250 zines over the course of Zine Quest. That feels like a success. It might just be a mixed success given my budget, my wallet, but I'm going to call it a success. So again, if you've got other projects, other things like that coming up, if you're a designer out there and you need a little bit of support in your last 48 hours, hit me up. We're always happy to help signal boost a little bit, even if it's not on stream. And I think that's it. I'm going to put on some Bats music and just bop for a little while. This is the Dot Dungeon soundtrack. I need to get a little bit more music. We've just been doing Dot Dungeon for most of the month. That's not what I wanted to do. But I am really excited to see, to get some more music on here, to feature some more things. So if you're somebody out there who does Dungeon Synth, who does music that you would want to have featured on the stream before, after, or during, let us know. We'd love to feature it. If you're not following, go ahead and hit follow. If you haven't subscribed to us on YouTube, you can click somewhere on the Twitch page and it should take you there. I need to clean up my Twitch page a little bit to help better link out to a few things. Thanks for all you guys who just discovered us today, who came over from the raid from Skullboy. That was a really fun kind of meta opening on the last day also too. And if you haven't got a copy yet of Beards and Beyond, which is our game from Zine Quest 2, it's now in our store. You can go to +1exp.com. Click on the link. It's the world's only beard-based RPG. You don't need a beard to play it, though we do highly encourage anyone who wants to grow a beard to grow one. The different stats are length, thickness, style, and growth. There's a lot of wordplay encouraged as you're developing skills, which are all based on a job. We've got our first campaign of that going on right now. Somebody sent a question. Ben wants to know what was my favorite thing. I don't know if this is for right now or for the retrospective. I'm sure we'll talk about this on the retrospective actually a couple times. What was my favorite thing to back? What zines am I looking for the most? I did my most anticipated. So most of those are still on my list that I was most excited to back. I would actually name Torque as probably the one I am looking forward to the most out of all of the games that I backed. Mainly because I'm constantly on the grind to try to convince my board game friends to try RPGs, and I think Torque is going to be a phenomenal tool to do that, as well as being a theme that I like a whole lot. I'm a big Car Wars fan. I was a Steve Jackson demo agent for years, and so something that's got a little bit of a Car Wars feel but has more chill, kind of soft post-apocalyptic vibes is 100% excited about. I really loved playing Repugnant on air for the first. I know it's my game. You're not supposed to be like your game, but I think people should be excited about their own games. I love what we're doing with the Heap. I can't wait to hack it. I'm excited about the next system we're designing using that, which is already in process. It's a fantasy kitchen game where you got to dive down into your refrigerator, which is also a dungeon that shifts and changes. There'll be some other mechanics that we layer on top of that, but it will use part of the Heap and the Covered in Shit. At least for the kitchen improvement micro game. And so I'm very excited about that. And I also just am excited to put the Heap out to the world and let people start hacking it into one page or larger systems also too. I think I came up with a cool idea, and that we are barely scratching the surface of what that might be. So we're going to have to get a good SRD built up around that and then let people break that. Other games that I really loved. I mean, there's so many of them, and it's hard to think back, and things that kind of just surprised and delighted me. I was talking about the division of the Druidic Division of Domains. That's not actually what the name is. I'm trying to remember of it right now. It's a cut and paste RPG that looks very, very cool, about two wizards getting through a divorce. Token. It's a 2-player rooted in trophy game that I desperately want to play. Dodeca from early on looked very cool also too, and excited to get that on the stream one day. And then let's see. I love what Adam's doing with Ether Operations. I think I love watching people mess with the format. And I also, it wasn't a Zine Quest project, but Phil's Folio Accordion Anthology. I want to see a lot of people mess with. The Trifolds Jam that's happening right now is absolutely something people should get in on. I would love to see more paper fold and paper craft stuff happen next year in Zine Quest, because you're allowed to do folded stuff. And so I would love to see people take folded stuff and just like flip it on its ear and make some of the weirdest folded origami-esque zines, according to the rules, that you possibly can make in the future. I don't know. It's a lot. There's a lot of really good stuff that came out. Apothecary is another one that I'm really just super excited about. I think that Anna does just phenomenal design, and the art on the cover image of that, and some of the other elements that are baked into it. I've gotten to play so many of them also too already, like so many being like 1%, it feels like, but that it's hard because some of them are already. Another one, Tezuka Sentai. I'm excited about that one because it's people who are jumping into design for the first time. It's Latin American creators, and they took something that they loved that never touched their culture in the same way that it hit other cultures. So the way that Power Rangers hit America, like Latin American, and this is something that came up in the interview with them afterwards, Latin American culture didn't get their own Power Rangers. Like Americans got their own Power Rangers. Other cultures got their own Power Rangers. Latin Americans didn't. And so they made Aztec Power Rangers. And it is like, so we just played combat, but it felt so Power Rangers-esque that it was very good. But it is 100% just straight pulled from their cultural reality and meshed in incredibly well. And it was two people who found out they love Super Sentai and they love tabletop role-playing games, who were kind of already friends with each other and who just decided to make this game. And I love this story for the creators, and I love what they're being able to do with it too. So yeah, those are some of my standouts from the journey along the way. But yeah. Come back on Friday. We're going to be talking to Tyler about Possible Worlds, about subscriptions, about SRDs, about being awesome, about being professional and the RPG scene and what that looks like and how that works. Come back on Tuesday. We're going to talk about Chemical Chimerica co-op and digital tooling for zine culture. Come back, hang out more. I'm looking forward to it. I'm trying to get up to 500 subscribers on YouTube. So if you haven't yet, it's here, youtube.com/+1exp. I'd love to get there in the next week, but I haven't put out any polished reviews this week. I need to sit down and type some of those up. Until next time, my name's Tony Vicinda. I've been zine questing, and I'm pretty sure, we slayed the Skellington King. Thank you, Lone Archivist. Oh man, and all the Mothership stuff this year. Watching the Mothership team work together, that was a blast. Like watching all those Mothership teams just kill it. That's probably the biggest thing I want to dissect post Zine Quest is how the Mothership people made things happen. We'll be back next Wednesday also for our first backer quest.